They want you to believe cops all carry the same gun. One standard issue, one holster, one trigger pull. Simple, clean, predictable. But that's the illusion. The truth? America's police departments are fractured when it comes to sidearms. Politics, tradition, budgets, and street survival, they all shape what ends up on an officer's hip. And when you line them up side by side, the list looks nothing like what Hollywood shows you. Gone are the revolvers of the past. Gone are the one-size-fits-all mandates. Today, departments chase capacity, reliability, and stopping power. And they're not afraid to switch brands, calibers, or even entire platforms if it keeps officers alive. So, when the FBI swears the 9mm is king and most agencies have moved back to it, the details get messy. Some still cling to 40s, some quietly keep 45s in rotation, and in elite units, you'll even see hand-fitted 1911s running alongside striker-fired plastic. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain. 10 major police departments, 10 very different arsenals, and the number one pick is the pistol that quietly rules American law enforcement. Buckle up. Number 10. Boston Police Department. Boston's streets have been policed longer than America's been America. From colonial watchmen with lanterns to today's beat cops with Glocks, the city's sidearm story is as old as its cobblestones. And right now, Boston officers carry firepower that shows tradition meets raw stopping power. Every officer has three choices: the Glock 22, Glock 23, or Glock 27. All chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson, all packing harder recoil than the 9mm dominating most other departments. The .40 round was once king in law enforcement, delivering a balance of punch and capacity, and Boston still trusts it. But that's not all. Their approved list goes deeper: the 12-gauge Benelli M3 SBS shotgun, the .223 Bushmaster XM15 rifle, and even the .45 ACP Sig Sauer GSR. Boston's arsenal isn't just pistols, it's a layered defense ready for anything from routine patrols to urban chaos. In a city where history never sleeps, the sidearm choice is more important than equipment. It's a statement. Boston's cops still believe in heavier hits, and they're not shy about carrying them. Number 9. Detroit Police Department. Detroit doesn't hand out second chances. This is a city built on riots, bankruptcies, and streets where crime never sleeps. And cops here know hesitation can be fatal. That's why the department scrapped its mixed arsenal and went all in on one sidearm: the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 M2.0. Chambered in 9mm, it gives officers what they need most: speed and control under pressure. Low recoil means quicker follow-up shots, 17-round mags keep them in the fight, and the lighter frame beats the steel revolvers and hard-snapping .40s of the past. The move wasn't about comfort, it was about survival. With attacks on officers rising, Detroit needed one pistol that performs the same in every hand, rain or shine, calm or chaos. The M&P 9 M2.0 fit that bill: modern, reliable, no excuses. Unlike other cities balancing multiple options, Detroit keeps it simple: one gun, one standard, one fight. On these streets, unpredictability rules, but the pistol on a cop's hip is the one thing they can count on. Number 8. Philadelphia Police Department. Philadelphia isn't just historic, it's hard, fast, and unpredictable. And the cops who patrol it carry sidearms that reflect that reality. What sets Philly apart is choice. Unlike departments that stick to one platform, this city still runs a mixed arsenal. Yes, some officers hold on to tradition with .38 Special or .357 Magnum revolvers, 4-inch duty guns, or even compact snub-nose versions. But the streets aren't ruled by wheel guns anymore. Most officers holster Glocks: the 17 and 19 in 9mm for capacity and control, the Glock 22 in .40 S&W for a heavier punch, and even the Glock 21 or 21 SF when .45 ACP muscle is the call. That variety isn't about comfort, it's about survival. Philly lets officers match their weapon to their training and confidence, because when a quiet corner flips into chaos, the right pistol can make all the difference. Number 7. Dallas Police Department. Dallas isn't just another city on the map, it's a pressure cooker: fast, loud, and never sleeping. And when their officers step out of the squad car, they're strapped with one of the most trusted pistols in law enforcement, the Sig Sauer P226. The same sidearm Navy SEALs ran into war zones now rides on the hips of Dallas cops patrolling back alleys and skyscraper canyons. But here's the twist. Dallas doesn't force one-size-fits-all. Their roster is wide open. SIGs like the P225, P228, P229, and P239 in both 9mm and .357 SIG. Or maybe a Glock, the Workhorse 17, the Compact 19, the backup size 26. Some even carry the harder-hitting Glock 31, 32, or 33 chambered in .357 SIG, turning a patrol pistol into a pocket powerhouse. And then there's the legacy crowd. Old-school vets still running Beretta 92s or Smith & Wesson wheel guns, iron that refuses to die. Even their backup 380s, Little SIGs and Berettas, remind you that Dallas doesn't play. This department's holsters are a museum of grit and evolution, from Cold War steel to polymer kings. In Dallas, no matter what's drawn, it's guaranteed to speak loud. Number 6. Miami-Dade Police Department. Miami-Dade isn't just beaches and neon lights. It's a country stretched across more than 2,000 square miles, from the glitter of South Beach to back roads where backup can take forever. From nearly 3,000 officers on duty, their sidearm isn't fashion, it's lifeline. Today, Miami-Dade runs almost entirely on the Glock 17 and 9mm. Simple, rugged, and built for endurance in a city where humidity rusts everything and crime never sleeps. Standard issue now means every cop carries the same proven pistol, with high-capacity magazines and manageable recoil for fast, accurate fire. But rewind the clock and the lineup was wilder. Officers once had a shopping list of options: HK USP 9s, Smith & Wesson 5943 TSWs, Ruger P94s and P95 DAOs, Sig Sauer P226s, and P239s, even Beretta 92Ds. Each had its fans, each found its way into a holster on the streets of Miami. The department tightened the playbook for one reason: survival. When you're covering a sprawl of 2.5 million people, consistency wins. The Glock 17 gave every officer the same firepower, the same training, the same advantage when seconds decide everything. Miami is unpredictable. Storms, crime waves, and chaos all roll in fast. But at least for the men and women wearing the badge, the gun on their hip is one thing they don't have to question. Number 5. Houston Police Department. Houston isn't just big, it's unpredictable. After Hurricane Katrina, crime spiked and the city's officers needed sidearms that could keep up with a storm of violence. The department's answer? Firepower and flexibility. HPD authorizes a wide lineup of .40 caliber workhorses: the Sig Sauer P229, P226, and P220, plus Glock 22s and 23s. These pistols brought stopping power to a city that demanded it. But rookies? They start with the Glock 17 in 9mm, a pistol light enough to handle, tough enough to fight through the chaos, and trusted across the country. Here's the twist: Houston hasn't forgotten its roots. Veterans on the force, grandfathered in from older policies, still carry revolvers in .38 Special, .357 Magnum, even .44 Magnum, and .45 Colt. Walk the streets long enough and you'll see everything from modern polymer to old-school steel riding in their holsters. That mix tells you everything about Houston PD. Tradition and modernity side by side, but always with one goal: when the fight comes fast, the gun has to answer quicker. Number 4. DC Metropolitan Police Department. Washington, D.C. isn't just a city, it's a powder keg, and every officer knows that cameras are always rolling. A split-second mistake here doesn't just end a career, it can spark national outrage. That's why the Metropolitan Police Department plays it careful with what rides on their officers' hips. For decades, the backbone has been the Glock 17 and Glock 19. Both chambered in 9mm, both built for that moment when the crowd surges, the protest breaks, or a traffic stop flips in an instant. Higher-ranking brass keep the Glock 26 close, small enough to disappear under a blazer, but quick enough to speak when diplomacy fails. But when the city truly teeters, when SWAT storms into chaos, it's the Sig Sauer P226 that takes center stage. Military tough, full size, and built for accuracy under fire, it's the ace card in a deck stacked with uncertainty. In DC, every holstered gun carries more than bullets. It carries politics, pressure, and the weight of a nation watching. That's why MPD doesn't gamble. Their sidearms are as steady, unshakable, and relentless as the city they're sworn to protect. Number 3. Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD. Los Angeles, a city of movie stars, gangs, and freeways that can turn into war zones overnight. For the LAPD's 9,000 plus officers, their sidearm isn't a badge accessory. It's the one thing standing between order and absolute chaos. For years, the Beretta 92F ruled the streets of LA, a heavy, steel classic that defined the department through the 80s and 90s. But as the threats evolved, so did the hardware. Officers swapped out Berettas for the Glock 22 in 40 S&W, giving them more firepower in a lighter package. Then came the modern leap. In 2022, LAPD officially crowned the FN 509 MRD LE as their new duty pistol, a sleek, optics-ready 9mm designed for precision, speed, and adaptability. It's the pistol built for the unpredictable grind of LA, whether it's a traffic stop in Hollywood or a gunfight in South Central. But the real wild card? SWAT. The city's elite still trust their lives to a Kimber Custom TLE-2, a full-size 1911 in 45 ACP. It's old school, but it hits like a freight train, designed for surgical accuracy when the stakes are highest. In Los Angeles, the cameras are always rolling. Every trigger pull can become a headline. That's why LAPD's lineup is as diverse as the city itself, blending history, firepower, and modern innovation to make sure their cops are never caught unprepared. Number 2. Chicago Police Department, CPD. Chicago doesn't hand out second chances. It's a city where gunfire echoes through alleys, where crime headlines aren't rare, they're daily. For more than 13,000 sworn officers patrolling these streets, the pistol they carry isn't about preference, it's about survival in America's toughest proving ground. Since 2015, CPD laid down the law. Every officer must carry a striker-fired semi-automatic chambered in 9mm. No revolvers, no outdated calibers. Just modern sidearms built for speed, accuracy, and staying power. The lineup speaks for itself. Glock 17s and 19s for those who want proven reliability. Springfield XD pistols for officers who like a different grip and trigger feel. Smith & Wesson M&Ps with their balance of ergonomics and consistency. And in 2018, CPD opened the door to the Sig Sauer P320 family, including the full-size Nitron, the same platform adopted by the US military. That's not variety for the sake of it, it's strategy. Each officer finds the firearm that feels like an extension of their own arm, because hesitation here isn't an option. The 9mm chambering gives them more rounds in the fight, faster follow-ups, and the kind of terminal performance modern ammo guarantees. In Chicago, you don't just carry a gun, you carry a lifeline. And CPD makes sure every lifeline is built for the realities of urban warfare, durable, accurate, and ready when the streets turn hostile. Number 1. New York City Police Department, NYPD. New York City, 8 million lives packed into the nation's busiest streets, and 40,000 officers standing between order and chaos. In a city that never sleeps, hesitation isn't just dangerous, it's fatal. That's why the NYPD's sidearm isn't just a weapon, it's the backbone of America's largest police force. Here's the deal. Every NYPD officer carries 9mm pistols, chambered with Speer 124 grain gold dot hollow point plus P rounds, a load chosen for its stopping power and consistency. But what makes the department unique is how recruits pick their duty weapon. At the academy, rookies test fire each option, guided by instructors, until they find the one that fits them like skin. The choices? 3 legends. The Glock 19, the compact powerhouse trusted by over 25,000 NYPD officers. The Smith & Wesson 5946, a stainless steel workhorse with safeties and controls built for high-pressure handling. And the Sig Sauer P226 DAO, a proven battle pistol with Special Forces pedigree and a frame tough enough for city streets. But there's one twist, the infamous NYPD trigger. Nearly a 12-pound pull, deliberately heavy to cut down on negligent discharges. It's a test of discipline, a reminder that every shot in New York City carries weight, both legal and lethal. At the end of the day, the NYPD doesn't rely on one pistol, it relies on a system. Choice, training, and rounds designed to end the fight fast. In a city where danger is always one corner away, these pistols aren't just department issue, they're lifelines, and every cop knows it. So what does all this tell us? The pistols police carry aren't random, they're signals. They show you what America's biggest departments trust when the stakes are life or death. From Boston's 40s to New York's heavy trigger Glocks to Detroit's clean break with the past, every choice reveals a strategy and every holster tells a story. But notice the pattern. Across the board, 9mm is king again. More rounds, faster follow-ups, better ammo. The same cartridge critics once called too weak is now the backbone of American policing. That shift isn't just about hardware, it's about survival. And while the headlines obsess over bans, politics, and talking points, the men and women on the street don't have that luxury. They carry what works. They carry what ends the fight. Now, I'll throw it to you. If you had to trust your life with one of these duty pistols, which one would you pick? Drop it in the comments, I'll be reading them. If you got something out of this breakdown, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And stick around, because the next story might change the way you look at the gun on your hip. Stay sharp, stay ready, and I'll see you in the next one.
Listen!